Yeah, I was looking for the where was that option under?
For news feed, with those three little dots, you switch between top stories and most recent. Hi.
Oh, there.
So that's Facebook?
Yeah.
I have to do it on
Good morning, Jim.
No,
And that's
what's
just
on your mind.
right here on the sidebar.
Right here.
Okay, yeah.
It says news feed, and then there's three sideways dots.
Well, feeds down there.
Mine says my name, newsfeed, and messenger. And if you click on newsfeed, the three dots next to it. Are you getting that?
I'm getting the news feeds, and it's got the three bars above it.
What are we?
We were discussing why we see either why we see things that are multiple days old on Facebook, or why we're seeing posts from a particular person all the time. Not necessarily that same post all the time, but Facebook learns that if you continue to click on, like, and comment on a certain person or people's all the time. So, for example, my sister-in-law, she posts pictures of my niece and nephew. And so I like them and I look through the pictures. Facebook learns that. And so it shows me more often posts by my sister-in-law than it does other things. So, for example, my friend from high school, I almost never look at the things he posts. And so in my newsfeed, I don't ever see his stuff amidst the ads and these other video. We were talking about the autoplay videos. They just, that there may be a feature to turn that off, but I don't know. I've never tried. So
Seems like you have to go into your Facebook account.
I think you'd have to go into over here into settings and see if there's an option, which there probably is. It's probably not easy either, but it's probably there. Did you find those? Do you see where I'm?
Yeah, I finally got the three little. Oh,
right there, and then
well, mine was down.
those little dots.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mine was down on the list: newsfeed, messenger, events, groups, pages, and save. And then it comes to feeds. That's where I found it.
Well, but you can custom adjust multiple feeds. So, for example, if you could turn all of your high school friends into a news feed, or all of your family. You put them into a group. Like right here is Grannies, which is my mom's side of the family. And so I've put all of their side of the family into that feed. And then if I click on that, the only thing in there is my family. And so if you just want to see what your family's up to, it takes it's not
Here's your groups.
majorly time consuming, but it's a little time consuming the first time you do it. But then once it's done, it's set up. And so then you just click on and you could call it family or whatever you want to call it, or high school buddies, or, car group or whatever. And then you just click that, and it's that group of people that you've said you want to see when you click on that. And so then I can click there and I can see what my cousins and my uncles and aunts are up to, and my brothers and so on and so forth.
I found it was down under favorites.
Mm-hmm.
There at the bottom of mine.
Huh.
Maybe it's an older
Yeah.
edition or something.
Could be.
Yeah, okay.
So.
What else? Totally.
Yep. So that's what that's about.
What would that be the same as look at it or just do it?
I think it's I'm looking at your account.
Yeah, you're looking at my account. Right? Oh, nothing's private anymore.
No.
Mark Weiser ended up.
Richard?
Good morning.
Hi, Richard.
Good morning. Sorry I'm late.
No problem.
It's all right. You can sit in the back of the room with the dust cap. Oh, you got
Oh, I
one.
got it out already. Not even nice this morning starting off.
Such a reputation you have.
All right. Any other questions about that or anything else?
That helps.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
That was
no
worth
problem.
coming for.
Yeah, so really, if you spend a lot more time on, I mean, even if twice you click on a news article by a specific website, because you just found it interesting on Facebook, then you're going to start seeing more of it. Even if you didn't intend to, I'm good for now. Even if you meant just to read those two articles and you didn't even realize they were from the same, news agency, it will probably start popping up more often. So, and that's why we see, not that I want to go down this road, so I'll mention it and then we can just keep going. But that's why, we talk a lot about how people can either pick and choose what they want to read because it aligns with their views, or they click on those things because a lot of people honestly get their news from Facebook because they're already there. And so, once they click on it, then, as I mentioned, that same company or website will keep popping up, and so then they keep reading those same news stories, or different news stories, but from the same organization, which, as we know, everyone has their own view on things. And so that's how we can kind of go into that rabbit hole of reading one particular view or getting one side of the story, or however you want to say it. So, but yeah, people do get a lot of their news from Facebook, which is why Facebook has been implementing, especially, it didn't happen until after the election, but during the election, there was a whole bunch of controversy about fake news popping up on Facebook. And so Facebook has implemented some things that it's filtering itself, but you can also now click on news stories and indicate, I don't think it's fake news, but they don't call it that, but they'll, that you think this story is inaccurate or unreliable or something. And so you can help Facebook filter that kind of misinformation. So
I'll share something with you. I was talking to my grandson yesterday, and his bank account was empty Thursday evening. And the best they can figure, he's been using a debit card. Somewhere he used the debit card or gave it at a restaurant. They cloned it, and somehow they got his PIN number. And that's really shocking. And I don't know how that happened. He doesn't know how it happened.
Unfortunately, there's programs, and then you just have to be near them if they're at the grocery store or wherever, and it copies everything off the card.
How do they get the PIN number, though?
Either they watched him enter it in as they held the device near him and copied all the information, or somehow that I don't know for sure. But either they watched it, or they recorded it, or the program was advanced enough that as he's punching it in the device, it recorded the keys. Because on old payphones, if you push the different numbers on the telephone, they made slightly different tones. And so I don't know if that's accurate. I'm just speculating here that maybe. But yeah, it's good practice not to use, especially at gas machines, your debit card, because they can put anybody could put a little device on the gas pump. Yep. And you won't even know it's there. And then you swipe your credit card, enter your code, which the machine does store for a time to make sure that it processes. And then at the end of the day or the end of the week or however long they want to wait, then they just take that little device off unbeknownst to anybody, and now they've collected all of those debit cards. And debit cards are much easier to hack, and you have direct access to a bank account to be able to copy. So
I don't know.
For common practice, we never use debit cards for gas stations because of that scheme, and we also never use debit cards for online purchases because credit cards are much easier to call the company and indicate fraud. Debit cards, because it pulls right out of your bank account.
It's a done deal.
Yeah, it's over and done with.
I make it a practice to only use my debit card at the credit union if I need to, and I rarely do that.
Yeah.
I don't even have a debit card. I don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a credit card.
Yeah.
You use it the places you know and trust, like Fred Meyer's, it's kind of hard for them to come in there and hook that onto their cash
Yeah,
register to be
yeah.
able to copy it, but at the gas pumps, no. But at the credit card, because I've had mine stolen a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
the numbers, and the first time was it went into a El Sombreros in Port Orchard. Give the card to the guy, it leaves your site. He goes up, he
Yep.
runs it,
Yep.
swipes it. They had a new card made within 2 weeks, a new card, hard card, and they were using it in California.
Mm-hmm.
But a charge card's no big deal because it's inconvenient because they cancel your card and you have to wait a week and a half to 2 weeks to get a new one.
Yep.
But the money's no problem. It doesn't come out of your account. But if somebody gets your PIN number and uses your debit card, it's really, really hard for you to recoup any money that they've taken out of your
Well, in this
checking account.
instance, Tom was telling me the bank is waiting to view the video
Oh,
Yes.
at the debit machine.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to verify that it was not him.
Yep.
They used the debit card at Fred Meyer to buy a prepaid credit card,
Okay.
which was interesting.
Oh yeah, because then
They've
it's
got
just
it all
like a
figured out.
burner phone or a
Yeah.
prepaid phone, which people call burner phones. Then there's no, you can't trace it past its use. So same thing with a prepaid card. Yeah, the last time my card, which has been a number of years, there was several $100s worth of something purchased through Comcast in Texas, and they're much better about reimbursing and understanding things now. But when that happened, I was like, you can see that I have never lived in the state of Texas. Why would I purchase things through a cable company in the state of Texas? And so, but they're much better about it now, and they catch things a lot earlier because it's much more prevalent. And
Well, some residents are now bringing the credit thing to the
That's
table,
good.
and you can watch them.
Yes,
spend it,
yep,
which is good.
yep, or the
Applebee's.
thank you.
Right there
on
the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying for, but I kept having the word pennies in my head. But yes, like Pennies is a department store.
I mean, they're high
Yep.
tech. You can order from this little device on
Mhm.
the table. You can pay your bill on the
Leave your
device,
tip. Yep.
and they automatically program in the tip amount.
Yes.
Well, you can slide it and change
Yeah,
it,
you
but
can
yes,
slide it.
if you wanna, yep,
And I think it defaults to 18%.
yes it does.
And then you can go scroll up or down if you want.
Yep.
The Red Robin's.
Yes, Red Robin does that too.
23% tip.
Oh, is that right?
Really?
They think that they give good service. One thing that I learned and what they told me when I had first time I had mine stolen or numbers stolen is that you never leave when you buy something at a restaurant or anywhere like that. That waiter comes to take your card or pay your bill. You never let it leave your sight.
Yes.
Right?
And they said also, the state with the highest number of credit card number thefts is Oregon. You go to buy gas in Oregon,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't pump it yourself. So you sit in your car and you just hand them the card. The highest state in the union is Oregon for credit card theft. So there's a lot of people out there
Nervous
stealing
system. Yeah.
that. It's profitable. So I'm sure that the guy who got my numbers at El Sombrero, server number 5, which I turned all in, probably got $100 for every card number he got.
Yep. Well, and that's the other thing is it's always good to check your receipt, not the one they give you, but later on your statement because they can.
They can double it up sometimes.
Yeah, they
Sometimes you
can
get
put
double
$100
charge.
Yes.
or they put $100 tip instead of
Yeah.
a $6 tip.
What do you know about Google's new Siri competitive product? Google's coming out with their own little machine.
Oh, the Google Home's been out for a while.
Oh, what's the newest one then?
You're thinking Google.
Are you talking about Amazon?
No, you're
Well,
thinking-
no, I've seen it advertised recently on TV. Maybe it is the Google Home.
Okay.
But the dominant product is
The Amazon Echo.
the Amazon Echo.
Correct. Yeah, no, the Google Home's actually been out for a while. I think I don't know for sure. I think maybe they released a new version of the Home, and that must be why they are pushing it. Because Google had their annual conference. So Apple's is today, but Google had theirs April, I think. And so maybe their new version of the Home is out. But yeah, I mean, it's just like the Amazon Echo. Does basically the same things, except obviously its ecosystem is tied with Google and Google products versus the Amazon Echo, which is linked to all of your Amazon products and services. So it's essentially the same thing. All of them have their flaws. All of them have their benefits, and
We found out that Alexa doesn't know everything.
no, she doesn't. No, they don't. And
Oh, you haven't?
Well, our kids gave this. Matter of fact, we asked it, when is Pentecost? And she said, Pentecost is the Monday after Pentecost.
What?
What?
Yeah, because it's called Pentecost Monday. Today's Pentecost Monday. But yeah, well, what is Pentecost? It's Pentecost Monday.
yeah, well, like I said, trying with GPS directions. If I use Siri to try to find something that doesn't have a normal name, like Gloria Dei in Olympia, it does not. It can't recognize that name. Yeah, no matter, because I've discovered, and I've not tried it, but I discovered, I think I mentioned this before, it pronounces day differently. And so if maybe I pronounce it the way that Siri does, then it might recognize it, but that's just way too complicated. I just type it in with my fingers and get to where I'm going.
I wondered if they're bilingual. I don't know if they are.
Yeah, not really. It's trying to pronounce it using the English language because that's the language you've selected. Well, you'd have to switch the language preferences of the whole phone to Spanish if you wanted it to really
choice.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's got its limitation. One video I watched, Bob, the title of the YouTube video was Google Home in a Nutshell or something like that. And apparently it's been a flaw for quite some time, and maybe they finally corrected it, but the guy plugs in the Google Home, sets it up, and says, "Okay, Google," which turns it on, like Alexa or Hey, you know who. And he says something like, "Set a timer," or "Remind me to." It's something as simple as that. Or make a calendar date for. It's one of those three very simple things. One of them, and Google says, "I don't understand," or "I cannot complete that command," or something. And then he unplugs it so that it's not listening, pulls up his Android phone and says, "Okay, Google, set a timer for 5 minutes." And it goes, "Okay, timer set for 5 minutes starting now."
Oh.
And he grabs the Google Home, puts it back in the box, seals it up, and says, "I'm taking this back to the store." But so apparently for a year, which is I think about how long the Google Home has been out on the market, it does not understand a simple command like start a timer. And it may now, but for about a year it's not been able to complete that simple task when the exact same or near exact same assistant that's on any Android phone, modern Android phone, can do a timer. And so they're all flawed, but they all have their benefits, and I don't know if they hadn't at the point I'd been watching it, but Apple is rumored to announce their own home assistant device. Whether or not they really do, I don't know. But that was one of the rumors for today's
So Apple's
update.
going to have a competitive product?
Yeah, that's the rumor. Again, it had not shown up yet. I've got my list of everything until class started.
So
But
what is happening with Apple today? They have a conference?
yeah, excuse me. Every first Monday of June. Is today the first Monday in June?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the first full week of June, and so starting today, and today's the keynote for everyone you can watch online, as long as you've got Apple-based browser, Safari. So you can watch it on your phone or your Mac or your iPad, but you can't just pull up Chrome and watch it because of the they use some kind of embedded technology, and so it doesn't pop up on other browsers. But anyway, so you can watch their keynote. It's usually about 2 hours. So it started at 10. It'll probably go for about another half hour.
In Nevada?
What?
Is it in Nevada and Reno?
No, they always host it in California. Apple's
is it?
based in Cupertino.
What is it?
You just go to apple.com and it's on their front page, and it'll start blaring at you because it's someone talking. So I've got it paused on my iPad. So yeah, every year it's called the Worldwide Developers Conference, and so although it's not just for developers are the people who build the apps and the programs and the things that we use that don't come pre-built on our devices. And so it's for them also, but they also announce all of the new things, maybe not all, but most of the new things happening with Apple. So for example, iOS 11 for phone and iPad, they were just starting to announce when class started, so I don't know what's going on with that. So they announced a whole bunch of other things. And so that's what they do every year. And then they spend Tuesday through Friday in these workshops training all of these developers in the new things that are coming out. And they get preview builds so that they can start working with the new software so that their apps, don't crash when the new operating system comes out. They can start building apps with all of the new features that come out for them to use to make our user end experience even better. So this whole week will be hands-on workshops and seminars and different things like that. And they pay so much money to be there this week. It's ridiculous. But they're able to fit 5,300 people in to be there that week. And it sells out in seconds. So, but I just watched the Monday things to see what's coming out and as far as what, the user would experience. So,
Well, I have a question.
yeah.
I got my new computer. I got it
Mhm.
all set up all by myself. I bought
Excellent.
Office, got Office installed on it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I could not do was to transfer from the laptop the contacts and calendar to
Okay.
the new PC.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I had bought it at Best Buy, I was given 20 free minutes with the geeks
Yep.
to help me with setup. I said to them, okay, I've got it set up. This is what I need. So they did that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of my contacts, when I hit my address book, come up with first name instead of last name.
Okay.
How do I change that?
There should be, I don't have a PC here in front of me, but there should be a simple setting. You should be able to go into settings.
On the PC?
On your laptop, open up Mail or the address book, and then go into settings or preferences, and there should be an option to sort, and then sort by last name.
Yes.
Do you have 10 or what do you
Yeah,
have?
it's a brand new,
Well,
so
then
she's
it'll
got
be
10 on it.
on your people form, people rather than or
Well, I don't have, I have, excuse me, for Outlook, I have 2010.
okay. But-
2010 Outlook.
Okay.
Because I was able to buy that to
Okay.
get the complete Office without having to pay the monthly subscription fee.
So what was that you said you did to go with the last name instead of first name?
Sort.
Well, so you should be able to go into settings, and then if there's a contacts tab or something.
For the contacts themselves?
Yeah,
Here's what you have.
there should be a sort or a
Contacts.
filter option. Let's see if we can. Outlook 2010.
Edit contacts.
Filter contacts by last name. Display contacts list and last name, first name, fortnight. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see what. Let's see if we can.
Sort by
All right.
first name or last name.
Found it.
So you see these are all by the first name.
Uh-huh.
and over here it says sort by.
Oh,
So let's see what happens when I click that. Now we go by last name.
okay, all right.
So
I'll look at
Yep,
that.
and you can do that. You can do the same thing with like on your iPhone or an Android phone. Also, you can change how you sort. So mine is actually in my contacts on my phone. It is. What did I do? How did I have this set up? It's sorted by last name, but it lists the way it shows it. It lists their first name first. So all the so it's listed alphabetically by last name. So my family are all in the W's, but actually displaying it, their first name shows up first. So instead of Weinberger, comma Chris, my brother, it says Chris Weinberger, but it's still listed alphabetically by last name. And so you can.
But you can get into that, doesn't matter which way it is, if you just type in either first or last name, it should either give you everybody with C first or W first, whichever one you put in there. It doesn't matter which way you go to try and find it.
Yep.
By saying it
But it, organizationally, if you're trying to find a group of people by their last name, I do that too. I love categorizing by last name so that my entire family's in one section, and then so that's how you should be able to do it.
Online at a company called My Choice,
which one did you get?
2010.
You know the little and symbol?
About $100.
The ampersands.
Yeah. Evidently, I have about 3 or 4 names with the, Ann and Jim Watson.
Yes.
It ends up being one of the sorting characters. The and.
Let's see.
Yeah, I did that for a while when I first got here. I was putting that
Usually
same
I put a
kind of thing,
slash,
but now I primarily just use whoever uses that email address more often because it's hard for sorting purposes and doing mailing lists. It's hard to have that and when you've got both couples' names in the name line. Yeah. So.
I have a question.
Yep.
Last night when I was marrying my TV to my actually not married, but it's already there, and it came up and it said I was going through this to my TV. I was watching a movie and maybe an hour or so, and then all of a sudden my TV came up and said, no such device, and my screen just went away.
It has a timer on it sometimes.
I don't know. So what I did is I went click and shut my TV off. Click, turned the TV back on, and it went through this preamble for whatever it does. And then it came back, do you want to connect to the iPad, which I
Well,
went,
you can just Google
click,
Outlook
yes, and it went
2010.
right back to where I was.
Somehow the signal was lost, whether it
Oh, is
timed.
that what it is?
Yeah. So either it timed out, or if your iPad went to sleep.
Disc.
Even while it's playing something through it, can it do that?
I don't know. It shouldn't, but if it went to sleep for some reason, if you bumped it or something bumped into it and clicked it to sleep or something.
Yeah. No,
I don't know. Or if it just randomly lost its signal, something interfered with the connection.
Okay. I just thought it was.
But yeah, it sounds like just somehow the connection was interrupted. So I think that's all it was.
Okay.
It may have just been a fluke. So, for the WWDC, I know Richard does, but I don't. If anyone else has the TV, the Apple TV.
$55.
Yeah, it's pretty. If you get the basic one, it's pretty cheap. So Amazon has withheld this whole time from putting the Prime Video on Apple TV, and so now they will be available to have Amazon Prime Video on the Apple TV,
Yes.
which is a big deal.
Those Tims.
That sounds like me. There's going to be quite a delay.
I went to the link on his email.
Yep. So there's probably about a 10-second delay. That's just how it happens. No, it's YouTube.
Yes, no, YouTube.
Yeah. So that was the only thing they announced for the Apple TV. They said that there'd be more later, but the only thing they announced was the Prime Video. For the watch, which I know no one has, so I'll just run through it really quick. They've got new watch faces. They're doing a lot more to the activity app to make it easier, better, and more fun to keep track with your activity for the watch. And music on the watch is supposed to be a lot easier to do.
So I'm looking at you here, and it's not the same as you there. Why
What do you-
is that?
Do you mean like it's?
Video feed.
Is it backwards?
How would
You know, you got a light shirt on, he's got a dark one on.
Different shirt.
Hey, look at that! Maybe you clicked on an old link and you're watching a
I
previous
clicked on
class?
the one that you just gave. That was on your email.
Did you?
8:26 this morning.
You know what I did? Well, I used an old link, but I think that link. So let me start over.
So he's back in time. He's not really
He-
with us
yes.
today.
Yeah, Bob went.
I get confused
Back-
easily.
I know.
Doesn't help.
No, it's completely my fault. So the way I used to do the link to class and the program I used was Google Hangouts. And with that, it was a different link every week. And Google Hangouts has been sketchy lately. And so I stopped using it. And I started using their new live streaming service. And that link is supposed to persist every week. But I think the one that I grabbed that link from an old email. And so I think that link from the old email is from
Well, now
when I was
feel
still
so
doing
bad.
Google Hangout.
Not my mistake.
My mistake,
So how do
100%.
I get you on here?
Let's pull that up.
Actually, you were testing to see if he says the same.
That's right. Bob's keeping me honest. All
So
right.
I'm at Google.
Yep. Well, no. Here, I'll pull it up for you. Come on. You can do it. Hey, your current live streams. Look at that. I am live now. I'm going to pause it so I don't listen to myself. All right, share. No, that's not hold on. Just a second. No, that's not what I want either.
So is this YouTube that you're on right now?
Yeah, so my classes stream to, let's just click there. My classes stream to pick a video, okay. Just leave me alone.
Could you just
Let me go to my class.
Couldn't you go to YouTube and type your name in?
I
Or
could,
not?
I don't want to manage my account. Let's see.
So we have to
Creator
be careful
student.
what we say.
That's right.
It's on YouTube.
Live streaming. Here we go. All right. There it is.
That's where that picture came from.
Yeah, that's the last email that I got this morning.
Well, the problem is, that one is.
All right,
I have
try
to
this.
Stage it with going well.
Try what I just sent you,
But I
Bob.
got the two of them already. But that
All right.
Three-stage.
There we go. So that was 100% my goof up. So there's going to be an update to the Mac operating system, which I'm sad Mark's not here because he has been for a long time trying to block autoplay ads, which we've talked about recently. The new Safari, when it comes out this fall, the new operating system, and the new Safari will automatically block ads that autoplay on websites. So, you click on a website and that ad starts playing, either right front and center, it pops up out of the corner of the screen. Safari's just going to automatically stop it from playing. I had Mark go to a website and found some hack, and it works, but at the same time, it disables other things that you do want, and so.
Is that one of those timed ads? Usually you have to wait a certain amount of time before you get to where you
No, like you're on the website and playing somewhere else on the
I see.
website,
Okay,
or
yes.
sometimes right front
Yeah.
and center. You suddenly start hearing someone talking, or an explosion happening, and you're wondering what's going on, and you scroll somewhere, and on the website somewhere there's an ad playing, and you have to pause it. It's becoming more and more popular, and so the people at Apple who work on Safari figured out how to block it from doing that. So that'll come out in the new update, and what they're calling intelligent tracking prevention. So, and we've never used this terminology in this class before, but we've talked a lot about how, you go to Amazon or, REI or whatever website you go to and you purchase something, or you just look, you're researching on purchasing something, and then everywhere in the world you go on the internet, you see ads for that product. Yep.
What is it, DuckDuckGo? Or
Yeah. DuckDuckGo will prevent that as well.
yeah.
Safari is going to sever that connection also now. So they're not blocking. It's kind of a weird thing. It still happens in the background. Like those trackers will still see you at a certain point, but they will not be able to then advertise to you as you go throughout the rest of the internet. So it blocks those ads from actually reaching you. And so the trackers still think that they're tracking, but they can't actually get that information about what you've been looking up and researching.
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo is a browser like Google or Bing or.
Do you go through Google to do that?
No, it is, instead of using Google as your search engine, DuckDuckGo is your search engine, and DuckDuckGo.
Then they don't
DuckDuckGo prevents that.
prevent it. Yeah.
But I don't know how long. Maybe they will, but it costs a lot of money to run a search engine, and the whole point of generating revenue to be able to do that for people to have is through ads. So I don't know how, unless they're going to be like Wikipedia, where they have the annual campaign to raise funds to keep it ad free. But then I don't know how many people will want to pay for that. So
I click on my Safari icon and it goes to Google.
Mm-hmm. You can change the default settings. You can do that in any operating system. Whatever default
But if I'm going
search
to
engine.
Safari, shouldn't it go to Safari?
No, Safari is the browser.
Oh, I'm with you. Yep, got it.
Yep. So Safari is the browser. Google Chrome is the browser. Mozilla Firefox is the browser. Your search engine is what you choose to search things for. So if you're doing a general search for, cars or monkeys or cute kitten videos, you would use Google or DuckDuckGo or Bing to do that. But the actual browser is the platform in which you do all that stuff. So Safari, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox.
So like Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer, thank you.
And
I always
then you
forget that
use
one. I
Yahoo.
block that one out of my brains. But yes.
Okay.
Yes. But then yes, or you could go to Yahoo. Yahoo is the search engine in which you search for things through the browser. Yep.
With my telephone I just got, it's the Android.
Mm-hmm.
And they really want me to set up a Google account.
Yes.
And they try to get you to set it up so you have a Gmail.
Yep.
Gmail.
Because it's all owned by Google.
Yeah. Well, I've got my Comcast mail account,
Mhm.
so I can't set it up by not going to the Gmail, going the other way.
Right.
Is there any advantage for me to get a Gmail account and just have it sitting out there somewhere?
Um,
And then that would give me Google account also.
Yes, Gmail works for everything. Gmail, well, obviously not everything, but it'll work for your Android phone. It'll get you, if you want to have a YouTube account, you'll have a YouTube account. It'll get you Gmail, it'll get you into Google Docs. It'll basically get you into anything that Google owns. You will then have an account for.
But then if I want you to send me an email and you're sending it to Comcast now, if I decide I'm gonna just look at Gmail, you'd have to change my.
Everyone, if you decide,
Every single person would have to change it.
Yep, which is why if combining words, that's why if accounts get hacked and you are unable to retrieve it through, Hotmail or Gmail or whoever, then you create a new Gmail account, and then if you have your contacts still, then you would then send out an email from your new email address and say, this is my new email address, please no longer send emails to my old one, which was this. Just like when you get new phone numbers, if you move and you decide to change your phone number, you send out a text message to every single person that you want to have your new phone number, and you text them and say, we've changed our phone number, this is what it is now. By the way, this is Brian. Because they won't know what who's getting the new phone number, who's being texted. So yeah. Yep. So I mean there can be advantages, but I mean if you really don't need it or want it, then I would just go the other route. Yep.
So I'm trying to follow you on Gmail right now.
YouTube?
No, it just says Gmail is all I clicked on. And so let me go back on this page I'm in, because I typed in Brian, and this, you probably heard it comes up here, it says Pastor Brian, so I clicked on it. And it says Pastor Brian, there's a circle with a cross in the middle. Following, nothing has yet been shared with you, so that means you don't use?
Well, no, so my YouTube account is not my pastor. Well, here's a lesson that you probably don't need. So Pastor Brian is that's Google Plus. I don't use Google Plus. It's like it's like a combination of Twitter and Facebook.
What is?
Google Plus. But on YouTube specifically, I don't post anything on my Pastor Brian account. I've created a channel on my Pastor Brian account called Tech for God.
Okay.
And then in that are all of these class videos along with the last 3 years worth of our Wednesday night Lenten videos. And so when we post those on the website or provide links for them on Facebook like we did this last year, those all, you just see them and you don't realize it, but that's all in my Tech for God channel on YouTube. So, and that way, and people do that, especially people that are real content creators. I mean, I guess technically I am, but real content creators on YouTube, if they've got a couple different shows, maybe they've got a show about technology and they've got a show about video games and a show about this, they will have the different channels so that people can follow that specific channel and not have just everything under the sun that they talk about under just one big thing. It's almost like, sorting things on your computer. You've got different folders for different things. So you can do the same kind of thing with YouTube. And so if you want to search for my YouTube channel, it would be Tech, and I spell it funny with the 3, T3ch, and then the number 4, and then G0d.
I'm trying to get to that picture you have up there. I have absolutely no idea.
Well, this picture right here, so this is the program that I use.
Yeah, but he had it on his computer.
Well, there's also,
An
yeah.
old version.
I tricked him.
He had history.
So I just sent all of you an email with the real link.
I thought I saw
Oh, you did?
Yes. So if you click on that link,
Oh.
Okay, I don't have that, so am I?
I just sent it out. Yeah, no, I included your name on it. Sent.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
So then, and there will probably be, I don't think I have yours.
So here I am, class today, so what do I do to make that picture come up right now?
You would click on that
Go to
link.
the email and click on the link.
I'm on it, it says class today, so I go to the HTTPS?
Yep,
thing?
that's the link. Yep, you're just
So
in
there,
the email.
there he is, the guy with his
Hey,
glasses
look
in
at
his
that,
mouth.
it's frowny
Oh.
at us.
I frown often.
Yeah, he's got the right shirt on anyway.
That's right. See?
So you must not have sent it to me.
No,
Mine says
you're-
try it free, you try YouTube Red free?
No, you don't want YouTube Red is a
Is there
paid
a
service.
delay because
Ken Berg,
I'm seeing a different image?
KD Berg, mail at comcast.net. Yeah.
Well,
I sent it to you. Maybe it's take a minute to get through. No, there's about a tense. I don't
1 second.
intentionally put it on there. It's just how, if you send an email, the email that I sent you, even though we're literally 10 feet apart, it's still got to go to the internet. So this goes up to YouTube servers and then gets distributed out. And so there's just naturally about a 10-second
I got
delay.
Oh,
So now you can all listen to me and then rehear me and rehear me and rehear me. That'll be
Much
good.
fun for me.
It's way too much for me too. No, I hate listening to myself and when we used to have a couple people actually follow me online, watch the class live online, and so I would have the video open, but I would pause the video because you can pause the video on the stream. And so I'd pause the video, but then I could still see the little chat box where people were talking, and so then I'd answer their questions live in class. But we really don't have anyone that joins us live anymore. One of them was a friend of mine from San Diego.
John Me used to do it.
Yeah, and John Me used to do it, and Joan did. Joan would never actually type in
now
the
that she's
chat,
in town.
but now that she's closer.
Yeah.
But so I would always pause the stream and then just keep the chat box open on my computer screen. So no, this is the program that I used, and so if I click on these little buttons, this is what switches me from just my face to my face with Safari open to, because we were chatting up until and didn't think to put it up first, and so so this is just the program that I used to do this and make it look nice on the YouTube side of things.
Catch up to what he was doing, sorry about the video.
Well,
It's never going to catch up. There's always going to be it's always going to be behind,
I got your one this morning. That you
Yes,
sent out around 9 o'clock.
which apparently was the wrong link.
Yes.
Thanks to
Which
that.
I found out.
But the one you just sent,
Yes.
I can't get it on either one of my emails.
Hmm.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But my internet is working,
Yeah.
and it pulled up
Other emails.
other emails just
Hmm.
now. So
Well, do I have it? Maybe I don't have it right.
well, I got your one this morning, so it was.
Oh, you did get the one this morning.
Yeah.
This is the same.
Yeah.
I'm not
Can you
sure.
send it in blind mail, blind copy?
This time I did.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
didn't see any.
Yeah, the one this morning I didn't. I was on my phone and was
Yeah.
sending it
Bill,
out, and
I was gonna, you took some photographs yesterday. Are those on the web?
No?
Or the,
Well, no, I just sent them to Pastor Brian this morning, if you want to put them on
yeah, I
the
can
church website, yeah.
okay.
from yesterday.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
a good place to put them,
Yep.
or I'll send them to you personally. for-
Yeah, send me a copy of that one.
Of the family picture, or the
Well, the one of
two
the
church
older
services,
one.
I mean, A and B, I mean, early
Yeah,
and late.
whatever you got.
Yeah.
Could we take a minute and talk a little bit about the church?
Sure.
I got this notice in the mail saying that we have a new interim pastor coming, and that I was late yesterday, and I guess that's changed. Is that right?
Yeah, Beth made the announcement that that the newsletter would be inaccurate. So we have to write the newsletter articles that we put in are due by the 20th of each month, and so all information is
So
At least
where do
10
we
days
stand?
late.
I mean, this is quite a workload burden for you.
where we stand was Valinda had a change in heart, about doing interim ministry in general, not just here, but just in general at this point in time. And so when Beth contacted her to let her know that we officially had voted and wanted her to come on board, she wrote back and indicated that. And so Beth has gotten back in touch with the synod and is waiting to hear back from Kim as to who may be available and when.
Okay, do we have, there's the first name Ron, November, do we have a interim pastor scheduled for later this year?
Yes, Ron Kemp was a recommendation by Pastor Steve, someone that he knows personally and think would do a fantastic job. Unfortunately, he has other, I don't think church, but other just personal commitments with traveling and other things until November. And so whoever we get sooner will be temporary until then.
So, but is Ron pretty much locked in then come November or so?
Yes. Ron, my understanding is that Ron is locked in to start in the beginning of November and will see it until a new pastor is called.
So you are filling 2 shoes or
Yes.
whatever.
Time
4
to have a
shoes.
raise.
So
Wow.
Time for a raise then, huh?
You got
that's
quite a
not how
work-
it works,
quite a
but
workload.
yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes to ease my load. So we've got I've met with Beth Beiser and got the visitation ministry up and running again.
So who will be doing that?
Well, I'll be visiting people still,
Okay.
but there's then 4 other
So you
people.
got some help on that.
Yeah, so I've got 4 other people that will be doing regular visitations, and they've got that confidential list of who needs visitation and those kinds of things. So that's up and running, and
So we-
that was my biggest concern.
But then preparing a sermon every Sunday is a significant workload.
Well, but the thing I shared with the council about that, yes, for me it is, simply because my entire time I've worked with another pastor. But the majority of pastors in the church are solo pastors, and they do sermons every single week. They don't have honestly, the luxury of only having to do it half of the time of
Is
year.
there an ELCA webpage you can go to and find sermons by subject?
There could be. My personal piety, I don't want to ever do that. It's only been 9 years that I've been a pastor in total, coming up on 10. But my personal piety, I've never repeated a sermon, and unless an emergency came up,
So you want
I
it to be
would.
an original.
Yep,
Right.
I want things to be relevant, with things that are happening in the world and in the life of the church. So I don't I go to websites for background information on the topics. I do that all the time. They're called commentaries, and I use those every single week. But as far as I would call them canned sermons. I've never done that.
Between now and November, then hopefully we're going to have
Originally, there was
interim.
Yes.
Interim.
Originally, there was a name that was, and I don't know, I forget who it was, but there was a name, and he was available in July. So if there are no new people available, I do know that is potentially a possibility. At least it was back when we had been given the original list of names.
Well, you're doing a great job. I don't
Well,
know
thanks.
whether you took somebody else.
So really, by you being by yourself, although you might not look at it this way, but I see it as a good growing experience, especially for a resume, because now you're not the second, you're the top dog. So you put there, I ran the church for maybe a year, period, no help.
Yep.
So it's nothing but good.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's extra work. It's a little more stressful, but yeah, it's doable.
There's a little blurb in that same letter from Liz.
Yes.
You should be getting an email, Bob.
I know where Fort Harper is down there.
Yep.
The town she's actually in.
Mm-hmm.
Still,
It's why
two
we were looking.